All right, we're back with another edition of My Thinking Leads to Eating. And today I got a good one for you because I know many of you probably struggle with this. I've heard it all through my coaching years from clients, which is, and I have one right now who's really struggling with it, which is, I'm too old. I am too old to change. Everybody else seems to get this but me. I've done these things for so long this way, I question if I'm even capable. And the client that shares this, she shares this in our coaching call, she shares this in her emails, she repeats it so often. And I keep sending her materials to help kind of recondition her thinking, and she's working at it. But she asked me a really good question. She said, you know, Heather, I think this is good for everybody else. I just wonder if I'm going to be able to do it. And there's a couple things I want you to think about. If you struggle with this idea, am I too old to change? Is this actually going to work for me? First off, totally lower brain, not your thinking brain. Because your logical brain would assess that if you look around at all humans and you see a random 70 or 80 or 90-year-old go back to school to learn to read or to get a degree that they put off for years, that we at all ages are capable of learning. So if humans are capable of learning and you yourself are a human, you're not exempt, okay? You logically know you're capable. That is your lower brain's way of giving you an out from doing something you could fail at. And it's seen you struggle before, and it's constantly throwing up red flags to get you to quit prematurely, to keep you complacent, to keep you safe. And that's just one of the ones that comes up for a lot of people. I'm too old. I'm never going to get this together. Everyone else is capable but me. And I said to her, stop saying it. Stop it. Because when you say out loud, or you keep it going in your head, I'm too old, what you're doing, you're sending your brain, and we've talked about this before, on a fact-finding mission. It will now look for proof to validate what, in fact, you think is true. That's what your brain does. It's a computer. It's like if you go to Google search and you type in, how do I get to Minnesota? How do I make a clay pot? What is the bird of the state of Arizona? What is the state bird of Arizona? When you type these things into your brain, when you say, I'm too old, brain goes through database, and it says, here's proof you're too old. Here's proof where you've struggled before with this because you keep sticking to old patterns. And it reinforces the message. So stop saying it. Like, that's exactly what I told my client. I said, every time that thought comes in your head, say, nope, we're not going to talk about this. We're not going to go down that road. When you speak to me out loud, stop saying it. Because every time you say it, your brain immediately goes to look for proof that it's true. I'm too old. Oh, here's all the proof you're too old. Look at all your friends. Look at the ages. Like, it just does that. And if you want to stop that process, how do you think somebody in their 70s, 80s, and 90s goes back to college? Do you sit there and think that they're going, oh, I'm just too old? No, they go, I want to learn this. That thought, if it does come, they dismiss it. They sign up for the class. They go. They do it. Literally, the only thing, and we talked about this in a previous video where I said action versus thought, right? They went to the registrar's office. They filled out the paperwork. They paid for the class. They got the tutor. They went and did the thing. Then they get on the news, right? Because it's a big deal. They just went through the actions of signing up for a class and going to class. They just didn't let their lower brain come in and say, you're too old. You don't do these things. You shouldn't be here. They just said, no, I'm going to do it anyway. Fill out the paperwork, pay for the class, go to the class. This is why you can have somebody in their 80s and 70s still running marathons. Are they too old? No, they paid the money, they registered, they got the number, they trained every day, they showed up. If their lower brain was chatting at them, they said, we're not going to listen to this. That's the difference. That's the only difference. They physically put one foot in front of the other, opened up their checkbook, paid for said things, showed up at said events, prepared for said events, didn't let their lower brain get in the way. That's the only difference between you and them. There is no other difference. They did physical actions you did not do, okay? So the I'm too old, when you hear yourself saying it in casual conversation to prove to your person that you're talking to why you're incapable of doing whatever it is you think you're supposed to be doing, stop saying it. That would be my best advice for you, because it doesn't help you. You aren't too old. As long as you're a human being and you have a brain, a computer, you're capable of learning new information. You're capable of doing new things. That has just been your lower brain's reasoning to get you not to do them. Stop listening to your lower brain. Say out loud. So what you're saying is, I am the one exception to the human race that because I am 65 or whatever, I am incapable of learning all this information, but yet I see other people that are older doing things. Why can they do it and I can't? It makes no logical sense. And unless you're going to throw all logic and reasoning out the window, how do you defend that argument? So no, you're not too old. You're not incapable of learning. You're not incapable of changing. You have just been persuaded by your lower brain to think that's actually an argument. It's not. Look around you. There are old people doing things all the time. That's because they just didn't listen to their lower brain. They just chose to pay the fee, show up at the event, sit in the chair, learn the lessons, get the coach, do the thing. They just went through the steps. That's all you have to do. All right, guys, I hope this helps. When you hear your lower brain saying you're too old, say, nope, we're not going to have this conversation. I'm not sending you on a fact-finding mission to defend that. I am not listening to you about that argument. You guys have a wonderful day. I'll talk to you soon.